And we are live. JLR Investigates. Hello, everyone. Current live feed in southern Texas along the U.S. border. The incoming border czar, Tom Homan, is meeting Texas Governor Greg Abbott and also meeting National Guard troops to I guess they're all eating a Thanksgiving meal. He's going to tour the border. They're going to speak and talk together, Abbott and Homan. A Texas showdown. That's the title of this video. This is the go-to coverage when it comes to the border migrant crisis. So Tom Homan is in Texas, folks, the border czar, and will be meeting with troops. It looks like National Guard troops there. It also looks like Texas Department of Public Safety there with the cowboy hats. So we'll be hearing what's going on here and following the latest development on the southern border. We were just live a little bit ago down there in Starr County, where the land commissioner there is donating 1,400 acres to the incoming Trump administration to possibly build migrant detention centers that will conduct, that will hold individuals for these possible mass deportations that will occur. Plus, they're building the wall. They're expanding the wall. So this is live. We'll see what's going on. Come on in. We're going to watch and listen to and have an analysis. And come on in, folks. Looks like it's Thanksgiving meals down there with the troops that are down there. Eagle Pass, I believe they are in the Eagle Pass, Maverick County, Texas area, which is one of the hot spots of people that crossed in the United States illegally in the last 3 years. As some of you might or might not know, we've been down there numerous times on this channel with the taking over of Shelby Park by Texas authorities, the National Guard, and putting the wire up and watching the crossings all around Eagle Pass. They have a base there nearby now, Texas authorities, and they vow to expand the border wall, border security. This is a topic that is interesting. So this is a live scene. So I'm looking at a couple other live feeds, but this looks like this is the best one thus far. So we're going to listen to Tom Homan. I want to hear Tom Homan. Tom Homan and Abbott last night talked on Sean Hannity. Homan was basically throwing out Title 8, 1324, throwing it out towards these mayors of these sanctuary cities that also claim that they're going to be defiant and they're going to, they're going to put up a resistance against the federal government coming in there that plan to implement and act on ICE detainers. Some of these mayors have came out on the record, in particular, Denver Mayor Mike Johnston. We've heard and talked about him extensively. Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago Mayor Michelle Wu, Mayor of Boston, has spoken out. So those are like three mayors that really have put their neck out on, in the last week or so, talking about they're going to defy ICE and Tom Homan and the federal government. That will be interesting to see what happens out of that. Just another news report that was coming out in the last 24 hours. The incoming President Trump has said that he would impose 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada if they don't get their act together, in particular to securing their own borders. And there was a lot of talk about 25% tariffs and what that would do to the economy. They're talking about the cost of goods going up. However, today the Mexican president spoke, and also Justin Trudeau spoke with Canada, the Prime Minister, and they said they've spoken to Trump and they're going to work with the Trump administration. So I don't think these tariffs are going to be in play. I think the art of the deal and the negotiation and or leverage, because the Mexican president said today that she's going to stop the migrant caravans. So that will be interesting. But today, there was about 200 people that crossed in the Eagle Pass area. A lot of children in the last 24 hours. There was a viral video of a 2-year-old child. I don't know if you guys seen the video of the two-year-old child that came in without a parent and claimed the child was reading a script and kind of claimed that their parents were already in America. So that's interesting too. So as the Mexican president said that she's going to stop the migrant caravans, illegal border crossings continue to happen in the Eagle Pass area. It's actually been a pretty big uptick in the last week that I've been monitoring, seeing what's going on. But yeah, this is Homan's about to speak. They're about to have maybe a dinner, maybe they eat, maybe they hand out some turkeys, greet some hands, shake some hands, boost the morale. Incoming border czar. We've talked about Tom Homan extensively on JLR Investigates. We've done numerous videos on him. So we titled this video, Texas Showdown, Tom Homan Border Tour, Eagle Pass, Texas. And we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens here. We'll see if he actually goes out there in Shelby Park. Oh, what do we got? Could they be coming in? Has Abbott arrived? Has Abbott arrived? Me and Magnolia plan to do the border again. We just don't know to what extent we're going to go. We haven't decided that. We don't know if we're going to go to Eagle Pass or Jacumba, California, or maybe New Mexico or El Paso. But I am interested in seeing what exactly happens in reference to this mass deportation that they say will be the biggest in United States history, the biggest mass deportation in U.S. history. That's what they say. Will it be there? Will it happen? I see the pieces being put into play today. Starr County, talking about 1,400 acres of donating 1,400 acres for a possible migrant deportation detention center, the expansion of the wall. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. I strongly believe that either these mayors that are defiant, they're going to fall in line, or we're actually going to see deportations that we've never seen before in this country. To what extent, I don't know. Unless they're bluffing, unless the federal government is bluffing and it's all talk, and they might tone down the talk. I tend to believe that they are going to do exactly what they said they're going to do. I just have that feeling. But if they don't, we'll also share that information on JLR Investigates. So those are the National Guards. You see on the left, some of them have Texas flags on patches on their sleeves. On the right here, it looks like a group of Texas state troopers. The troopers down there have been playing a critical role since the takeover of Shelby Park. And the takeover of Shelby Park was probably about a year ago. I would say it was starting. They started putting up the wire and started looking like they were actually going to do it something in about December of last year. We were there seeing what was going on. So it's been about a year now since that Shelby Park takeover. We were live streaming in front of the Shelby Park entrance for days. I thought there was going to actually be a showdown between Border Patrol and Texas National Guard that never came about. Looks like they're still on the same path, and I don't believe Border Patrol is the enemy. I know a lot of people have mixed opinions about the Border Patrol agents. The agents are, following policy that's in play and following, orders. And looks like there's going to be a new change in command and a new policies all across the board. We still don't have an idea yet what exactly policies. We've talked about remain in Mexico. We've talked about the anchor babies, and also dreamers. We talked about TPS. We talked about the CBP app. Those are some of the policies I think that they're going to change immediately. And it will be interesting for sure. So it is most likely Abbott is there now with Homan. I've been following Homan extensively since this. What do we got? What do we got? Abbott will be coming in, folks. Abbott. Abbott.
Thank you so much for what you've done for us.
We're back. Okay, here we go.
I want to.
Going on here? We're back off again. Hold on a second. Let me fix.
I think this is a harbinger of things to come, that the cavalry's on the way. And then lastly, I want to thank our governor, Governor Greg Abbott. No governor has done more to enforce the rule of law, to secure the border, to protect the sovereignty of the citizens of the state of Texas. So it's my honor to introduce Governor Greg Abbott.
Give it up for General Seltzer. We're here today for two reasons that coincide. One is to say thank you, and the other is to serve you something. I know you're dying to eat right now. Get to that big lunch. But listen, you need to know the gratitude that I, my fellow Texans, and your fellow Americans have for you, for what you're doing and what you continue to do. Everybody knows that our military, National Guard and otherwise, as well as our Department of Public Safety officers, you serve 24/7. There are times when you're deployed, times when you're not deployed, but the fact of the matter is, having you available to serve the state of Texas or the United States of America is essential for Texas and for our country to remain sovereign, free, and safe. And that's exactly what you are delivering to the people of our great state. And I want to say thank you so much for everything that you're doing. No state in America has a National Guard like the Texas National Guard, either in volume or quality or what you provided for our country. Our country, meaning people outside the state of Texas, they know exactly what you've done, the difference that you've made. The truth, the facts are that what happened over the past 4 years was unprecedented. More than 11 million people came across our border illegally. It's not just the volume of people, it is the intent, the crime, the harm that they cause along the way. Y'all surely know the stories. There have been little girls in Texas raped and murdered by people who have come across the border illegally. There have been family after family after family in the state of Texas alone that have been physically beaten, abused, harmed, or had their homes or their neighborhoods decimated. They needed somebody to step into that breach and stand up for the rule of law upon which our country was created. The men and women who did that are the men and women of the Texas National Guard and the Texas Department of Public Safety. Americans, thank you for your service. I know that sometimes what you're doing may be hard. My only hope is this, and that is that you know also every single day how important, how essential it is what you're doing. Texans are counting on you. Americans are counting on you. And especially this time when we have Thanksgiving. We as Texans and Americans have at the top of our list among our thanks. A thank you to all of our Texas National Guard, those who came from other states to join you from those other state guards, as well as our DPS officers. So from me, the best and most prolific thing I can do to you today is to let you know the gratitude that Texans have for you. Maybe the second best thing is what General Seltzer was talking about. There is a change afoot as we speak right now. And it's something that formally occurs on January the 20th, but has already begun. Actions, planning, preparation, schematics, everything that needs to be done is being done to make sure that there is no time gap whatsoever. That as soon as January the 20th occurs, there is going to be a change in the way that the United States of America protects our border and protects the sovereignty of the United States of America. And we have with us the person who's going to be the tip of the spear of leading that effort, and that is Tom Homan, a person that you probably know is well experienced at this. If I recall correctly, you served in the Border Patrol, served the head of ICE, and as we say in Texas, this is not his first rodeo. He's been down this pathway before, done this before, comes ready and prepared with both the physical attributes, the mental attributes, and the experience attributes to make sure that we're going to be doing more and faster than anything that's ever been done to, first of all, regain control of our border, restore order in our communities, and also identify, locate, and deport criminals in the United States of America who've come across the border, who are preying upon our fellow Texans and our fellow Americans, and make sure that we restore safety and law and order in communities across the entire United States of America. And I am proud to have with us today the next border czar, and that is Tom Homan.
Thanks, Governor. Look, you guys know me. For the last 4 years, I wake up every morning pissed off about what this administration did to the most secure border in my lifetime. Let me be clear. I worked for 6 presidents, starting with Ronald Reagan. Every president I worked for took steps to secure the border because they understood you can't have strong national security if you don't have border security. We need to know who's coming in, what's coming in, where it's coming in, why it's coming, all those questions, right? No one did better than President Trump. President Trump's one badass president to secure this border at a level we've never seen before. Illegal immigration was down to a 45-year low. Illegal immigration was down between 83 and 90%. Unprecedented success. Joe Biden's the first president in the history of this nation who came into office and unsecured a border on purpose. This isn't mismanagement. This isn't incompetence. This is by design. So the first morning I woke up with a smile on my face was the day after the election when President Trump won. Because he's going to come back. He's going to finish the job he started. First of all, he sends his well wishes here and happy Thanksgiving, President Trump. Also, we got a secretary coming in, Secretary Kristi, the governor. I've met with her numerous times. She's the right person at the right time for the right job. She gets it. She has a lot of great ideas of her own. So I'm looking forward to Kristi getting through the confirmation process and coming to work with us. I think she's doing a fabulous job. Today is the first day I've been at Shelby Park. I'm here. Governor Abbott has done an amazing job. Illegal immigration in Texas is down 86%. 86%. Think about that. This is a model we can take across the country. We're going to help Governor Abbott finish the job he started, but this is a model we can take across the country. Unprecedented success in Texas. It's a shame the taxpayers of Texas have to spend billions of dollars to do the job that this administration failed to do, didn't want to do. And because of that, what everybody in this room today, you got to understand, you're a national hero and you're saving this nation. Let me explain why. It's just not about illegal immigration anymore. When this administration calls the crisis the biggest they caused, it overwhelms the Border Patrol. And because the Border Patrol is so overwhelmed taking care of this humanitarian crisis, many of them are pulled off the line. And what happens then? 600% increase in sex trafficking. Fentanyl coming across the border to kill 250,000 Americans. Record number of people on terrorist watch list crossing the border. Over 2 million known gotaways. How many of them come from a country sponsoring terror? How many of them were carrying fentanyl? How many of them are sex trafficking women and children? How many of them are gang members? So it's more than just illegal immigration. I don't care what your opinion is on illegal immigration. When you cause a crisis this big, all these terrible things happen. Cartels are making more money today than ever did. They're making a record amount of money smuggling aliens, record amount of money trafficking in women and children, and a record amount of money moving the dope. I'm happy that we finally got a president. President Trump's going to come in January. Like the governor says, we're not waiting till January. We're already talking. We're already planning. We're going to put a plan in place and secure this nation at the highest level it's ever seen. We're going to finish Trump's work. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. What people don't understand is that what you've done in Texas, for every ounce of fentanyl your trooper sees are less overdose deaths. For every person you arrest for trespassing and put them through a fingerprinting process, that's one less gotaway. At least we know who these people are. What you've done is not only protect the state of Texas and the citizens of Texas, you are protecting this nation. It's a shame we have other governors and other mayors who are right out of the gate. I said they're going to push back on President Trump and what we're trying to do, especially for interior enforcement. Let me be clear. There is going to be a mass deportation because we just finished a mass illegal immigration crisis on the border, where anybody can look at 9 out of 10 people claim asylum at the border will end up with an order removal. So you can't ask for the right to claim asylum, the right to see a judge, the right to due process, and we give you that due process, and at the end of that due process, a federal judge orders you removed, we have to remove them. Because if we don't, shut down immigration court. Those orders don't mean anything anymore. Take you guys off the border because there's no consequences. So you can't demand due process and the right to claim asylum and not obey the court order. That is why there needs to be a mass deportation. We got a mass number of people, millions of people who will get a final order and be ordered removed. If we don't do it, what is the option? Let them stay? Because if you let them stay, you'll never fix the border. You're going to send a message to the rest of the world. Enter the country legally, which is a crime. The order removed. If we don't do it, what is the option? Let them stay? Because you let them stay, you'll never fix the border. There'll be companies, you're going to send a message to the rest of the world. Enter the country legally, which is a crime. Ignore a court order, you never have to go home. We're telling the whole world it's okay to enter this country legally, you never got to go home. We're a nation of laws, and we're going to enforce the laws. The men and women of ICE, they're going to have a tough job ahead of them. And I'm sending a message for the people that say they're going to get in our way. They're going to stop us from doing what we're doing that interior enforcement operation. I've said it 100 times in the last week. Don't cross that line. It's a felony to knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from immigration authorities. Don't test us. The nation wants a safe country. We've had enough crime in this country, illegal alien crime. It's time to end it and stop it. President Trump's committed to it. He's committed to securing this border. He's committed to having this mass deportation operation and concentrating on public safety threats and national security threats. For any mayor or governor who's going to push back on removing public safety threats from your community, that is your number one responsibility. You ought to be teaming up with us. We have created the biggest national security vulnerability in this nation on the southern border. Because like I said, 2 million known gotaways. We don't know how many unknown gotaways. Already a record number of people on the terrorist watch list. If you don't think a single one of the 2 million came from a country sponsoring terror and didn't come to do us harm, then you're an idiot. Everybody ought to be on the same page. Republican, Democrat, Independent. This is a huge national security vulnerability, and everybody ought to be concerned with it. So thank you for your service. Thank you for all the work you're doing. I am impressed with what I've seen today. Governor, hats off to you. The outgoing Mr. McGraw, the famous Mr. McGraw, who I actually He's been a mentor of mine. This guy's done more for DPS than anybody that's ever worked for DPS, in my opinion. He took you guys to the 21st century. Texas DPS is probably the finest law enforcement agency in this nation. So thank you for the DPS. Thank you, Mr. McGraw. Thank you for the governor. Game on. Time to get this done. Game on.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Paul Bettis. I'm the president of the National Border Patrol Council. Been doing this for 27 years. I've known Tom Homan for a long time. I've known the governor, Mike Banks, your outgoing, what's the title? Colonel, Director. I've known him for a long time, and you're incoming. You guys are going to be in good hands. And so as a veteran and as somebody whose son is in the Army right now, I want to thank you for your sacrifice, because I know being away from home is a very big deal for you guys. But what you're doing here, what the governor has had you do here, is very, very important. You guys have been protecting this country from all types of threats. And you may not see it every day, but those of us that are out there that should be doing the job that this administration won't let us do, thank you for everything you have done, because you have saved lives. Everything that the troopers, that you guys as guardsmen have done, has saved lives. Without you guys, this country would be in more chaos. The governor stepped up and did what no other governor wanted to do. If the southern border governors did exactly what Governor Abbott did, this country would be in a much better place. A lot more lives would have been saved. But this administration completely decimated the border. They completely took apart the plans and policies that President Trump left in place. It's been said all they had to do was nothing, but they took the opposite. They put the wrong people in charge. They put people that wanted this country to be overrun by illegal immigrants in charge, and they allowed them to do it. And if it wasn't for this governor stepping up, this country would be worse off. Now that President Trump's going to be in office, he chose the best person for the job, the best person. There's nobody better than Tom Homan. He's assembled a great team. He's putting together a great team to take the border back once and for all, put the cartels in their place, put the smugglers out of business, and once and for all secure this border. So I want to thank you guys for being here, away from your families, doing the job that you signed up to do. Is very, very different than what you're doing now, but it's very, very critical and something that we really, really appreciate. So thank you guys very much. We appreciate it.
First, I've had the pleasure of working with Noem over the last 30 years. He is a consummate professional, and I couldn't agree more with the governor that he is the right man for the job. He's a little timid at times about expressing his views, but you always know where you stand with him. And I couldn't agree more. More importantly, the governor couldn't agree more. The most significant homeland security and public safety threat to Texas and the nation has been and will continue to be until it's secure again is an unsecured international border with Mexico ×2. It's a national security threat as well. And we've had to live with the consequences, but we've got a governor that he didn't talk about public safety or homeland security. He actually lives it night and day, and he will not accept any excuses for not securing the Texas-Mexico border. It doesn't matter if it's our job, it doesn't matter whose job it is. He is so committed to public safety and homeland security. And I know from phone calls at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock sometimes, okay? He is fully committed, engaged, and cares deeply about the soldiers and cares deeply about the troopers. When we suffer, when we lose one, the governor's there, plain and simple. So it's been an honor to work for you, Governor. Leaning forward, you've done something certainly wasn't a Texas job, but Texans expect success under your leadership. And we're a better place today than we were yesterday. Thank you. God bless you.
Hey, so I'm gonna be real quick because I know what you guys want to do, right? Being a veteran myself, we want to get down to eating. So real quick, I think you guys need to understand, I want to put it in perspective for you. A lot of times it's hard for you. You out there, you're holding back, and then you see a migrant get through the fence somewhere else. You think, what am I doing here? 87 or 86% reduction. You have reduced traffic, illegal immigration in the state of Texas by 86%. That is massive, especially when you take into consideration that Texas owns 64% of the border. We've got the largest portion of the border, and we're also the most direct path for that traffic. Texas has never not led the nation in illegal immigrant crossings. Now we barely account for 30% of the daily traffic crossing the border. And that's to the effort you're doing. And I want to make sure I point that out, because sometimes when you're just focused on one little piece of the pie, you're not seeing the whole picture, but you guys are killing it. And so today is like the best day of the year for me, because nothing makes me happier than being able to come out and serve those Texans that are serving Texas. And I appreciate what you guys do. You're killing it. Tom Homan, I agree with the governor. The president couldn't pick a better person to be the border czar. I'm looking forward to actually working with a border czar that wants to work with a border czar, do border czar stuff, right? Secure the border. Very excited about that. Governor's made it very clear that Texas is a law and order state. The president picked a career law enforcement leader. We're going to work together. We're going to get you guys more ability to do more, to push harder, and get this border secured. Thank you.
And now the three words you've been dying to hear, and that is lunch is served. And I'm going to drop the mic. We're all going to get lined up to serve you, to show not only the great food we will provide to you, but our gratitude for everything that you do. Thank you. God bless you all, and God bless the great state of Texas.
All right, we're going to switch the feeds in a second. Very, very interesting. We'll talk about this. JLR investigates. So Abbott, Homan, looks like the Texas, they have a border czar. So we're going back to the different feed. Yeah, this was a good feed, but the problem is the microphone on this particular feed went down, so we switched off. But the other ones were very grainy. But I am monitoring the different feeds right now. Will they take a tour that they'll show us? Possibly, maybe. But yeah, that's Homan visiting Texas. It looks like Homan and the federal government will be with a good relationship with Texas, both of them, Texas and the federal government, a good cohesive work together type relationship there. If you're for, securing the border and you're for everything that they've proposed, this is a good sign. This is a good look. This is a good look before, the incoming administration is in. You've already have the border czar. It switched back. We're going to switch back to another feed. Magnolia, go back to that other feed. Give me 1 second. We're gonna put it back at the other feed and talk a little bit. I'm looking for another feed too, because I just want to continue this conversation a little bit. But yeah, the administration's not there yet, but he's there. And he look at him. He was in a military hat, military fatigues type of deal, jacket. They seems like, they're mean business here, and he seems like he's there temporarily to get the an understanding of what the border looks like before he officially takes the helm. So, Texas is allowing him to come in. Just going to put this feed here while we wait and see if there's an additional. I think they're going to hand out some Thanksgiving meals or serve the troops, serve the troops. I'm going to see if there's an actual feed with them serving the troops itself, which could be a possibility. So, but yeah, things seem like they're the new sheriff in town. We'll say that new sheriff in town in Texas. On top of the earlier live that we did about the land commissioner donating land. Now the question is, what are these other border states? Because you still got New Mexico, Arizona, and California. What are those three states And how's their relationship going to be with the federal government? We've heard a little glimpse from Katie Hobbs, the governor of Arizona, who says that she's not going to comply, more or less, with these ICE detainers. So that's going to be interesting, considering that a lot of the border crossings right now, due to the fact that Texas there has secured their borders and it's dropped, the border crossings have dropped significantly in the last year. Arizona and Tucson sector continues to get a lot of border crossings. So that will be interesting itself, right? Actually, eating here when these troops are eating is actually making me hungry. I'm getting hungry. Wherever you are, hopefully you guys are having a great Thanksgiving. You know, when it happens in the next couple days, Thanksgiving, you know, what are you thankful for out there? Oh, the feed went off here. Did the feed go off here too? I think the feed went off everywhere. Possibility. Let me look one more time. Yeah, the feeds are off. So that's what we have here. Give me 1 second, folks. Let me just see if I see any additional feeds or any information we can share that's going on. I do not. So we'll leave it at that. But let me just talk for a second. You know, what are you guys thankful for? It's Thanksgiving. Hopefully all of you are okay, and you know, you're spending time with your loved ones and family. But we have a lot of people that are from around the world that might not necessarily celebrate Thanksgiving. So, you know, happy whatever day you want to call it for yourselves too. The border. The border is a, you know, topic that we cover on JLR Investigates. Again, like I was saying, that me and Magnolia plan to visit somewhere on the border and see what's happening with these mass deportations or detention centers or the stoppage and wherever it goes, or wherever the, you know, anyone that's defiant, any sanctuary cities that go against ICE or the new administration policies will be there. We don't know where we're going to go. So we're like more or less on standby. We might do a border visit before January 20th. Around the 20th, me and Magnolia will be live streaming in Washington, D.C. At the inauguration. We're not attending the inauguration. We're just going to be in the streets during the inauguration to see what's going on. We hear there could be some protesting, just to show you a view of what's going on in real time at the inauguration. So if you haven't subbed up for that, definitely watch that. And then from January 20th on, I don't know where we're going to go. But this is a topic that we are invested in. We spent a significant amount of resources, time, knowledge, and understanding. Me and Magnolia built numerous relationships with personnel, families that live by the border, some on the border, ranchers, law enforcement, other independent journalists, streamers that were down the border. We got a very deep connection and sources a lot of places. So we understand this a lot. So, you know, we don't even know it all. That's the thing about it is, you know, there's really, I think things evolve over time, things change, but we're pretty much ahead of the curve on this particular topic, considering the amount of boots on the ground and everything that we've done. Plus, you know, we've been to the northern border. And that's another thing too, is I'm interested in knowing what's going to happen at the northern border, particularly the Swanton sector. The Swanton sector is upstate New York, Vermont, and New Hampshire, because what we've learned was, you know, there's some policies in Canada that allow people to fly into cities into Canada, in particular Montreal, from Mexico. And it's easy to fly into Montreal, Canada, from Mexico. So people are boarding planes, going to Montreal, and then getting driven down 40 to 50 miles south to the border there in the Swanton sector. And they have crossed through the fields, the woods, in the middle of the night, in the daytime, into communities there and surrender themselves to Border Patrol. The northern border has no border wall, no fencing. And last year, they've reached their all-time high, record high in illegal crossings. So it will be interesting, and we've been there too. It will be interesting how they handle the northern border, particularly with Trump talking about that 25% tariff on Canadian goods. That could be some leverage for Canada to stop these the loopholes or the policies that allow these people to fly into Canadian cities and then just come down and trek down to the border. Maybe, you know, Canada will stop that, and the border up there in the northern border could be more secure, because that needs to be talked about too. They received a lot of people crossing over. I don't know the numbers offhand, but it was a record high. The southern border, as we know, is a complete mess. Will it be fixed under this administration? There's some experts that say, as far as like deportations in cities, it's going to take years to get everyone out. Years to get everyone out of the cities. But in the meantime, on top of the mass deportations being done in probably these sanctuary cities and or the prisons or the jails all around the country, you also have to secure that border. And how they will secure the border, the entire border, because as you know, we know lots of spots that do not have border wall. The border wall comes to a complete end at a mountain, a hill, in certain locations. Indian reservations, that might have to be talked about in reference to, you know, the government working with these Indian reservations, because these Indian reservations prohibit the border wall from being there. So that, being prohibited and not having the border wall there is a loophole where the cartels and the coyotes and the NGOs are taking the migrants and the people that cross over illegally to the Indian reservations on the Mexico side, and then they're crossing there because there's no security. There's no security. But as you know, even if you have a border wall, doesn't necessarily mean the border's secure. As we've seen on this channel, the cartels and the NGOs and the coyotes, the people, they're very smart and savvy and know how to cut through the wall, under the wall, around the wall, over the wall, and over the wall with ladders and makeshift stuff. And they just climb over the wall, and they can literally get over that wall in a few minutes. And they clock the Border Patrol. They understand when the Border Patrol, their schedules and times, and they know where the Border Patrol are at. So when the Border Patrol is spread out thin, or they're doing a shift change and they're not around, that's when the cartel strikes. And that's when these gotaways in the hundreds, and it's a continuous pipeline. It's big business. Excuse me, drinking a lot of coffee here, but it's big business. So hopefully I educated you on enough today. We will continue this topic on JLR Investigates the Border Crisis. So if you're new to the channel, hit that sub button, subscribe button, like and notification button. A lot of people do follow this channel because of the border, but we cover everything. We cover everything, but this is one particular topic that we are on. All right, folks, you guys have a good day. I don't see any other feeds about tours of Eagle Pass, but the incoming borders is there in Eagle Pass. So if there's more footage, might do a subsequent live. We'll continue to be on this topic if anything else breaks on this case. You guys have a good day. JLR Investigates. We'll talk soon. Have a good day.